Steam are being sued for nearly $1 billion. In the rapidly evolving world of digital gaming, Steam has emerged as the dominant platform for distributing PC games, commanding a significant share of the market. Many gamers absolutely adore the Steam service due to its numerous benefits, which can make it a standout platform. For example, PC games on Steam are generally significantly cheaper than their console counterparts. It's one of the many reasons the PC Master Race is so very proud of itself. Additionally, Steam boasts a much wider selection of games with an impressive catalogue of 73,000 titles, arming it with an ever-growing library far more expansive than any console could ever dream of. Furthermore, gamers appreciate the peace of mind that comes with knowing their digital purchases will not be locked to a single piece of obsolete hardware, such as a Nintendo Wii or PSP, meaning that their investments are more secure and accessible across multiple devices and future hardware upgrades, which is something that some of the big players within the console industry have been purposely preventing consumers from doing, making it impossible from carrying their digital purchases from one generation to another. So bearing this in mind, you have to love Steam, right? Well, after watching this video, maybe you potentially won't purely look at them through such rose-tinted spectacles, as a recent lawsuit against Valve Corporation, the owner of Steam, has brought to light serious concerns about some of their shady business practices and the impact of those practices on gamers. While on the surface Steam appears to be a superior option compared to most platforms, it's not without its flaws. This lawsuit has highlighted that despite its many advantages, Steam's operations and policies may have underlying issues that seriously need addressing, reminding users that no platform is all sunshine and rainbows. So let's take a deeper look into this, work out what exactly is going on, and see why this situation has left so many people feeling aggrieved. I am Lady Decade. Hit that subscribe button for more spicy gaming content, and then sit back and relax while I tell you the story so far about the nearly $1 billion Steam lawsuit. 2024 has, in many ways, been a pretty dire year for gaming, featuring studio closures, thousands of developer staff layoffs, and hundreds of millions of dollars being lost on the release of single AAA games. Things have been pretty dismal in the gaming industry. Predatory practices and anti-consumer behaviour are unfortunately becoming more and more common. For example, PlayStation has recently come under scrutiny for its dubious practices, and Nintendo is well known for its litigious behaviour against seemingly harmless fan projects and communities. These are just two examples which highlight a broader trend in the industry where major companies often prioritise profits over consumer interests, leading to widespread dissatisfaction among gamers and ultimately distrust of our corporate overlords. Steam, on the other hand, has generally been seen in a better light and considered much more consumer friendly. This doesn't mean they haven't had controversies of their own, but they seem to be less frequent and less severe compared to other major gaming companies, often addressing user concerns more promptly and effectively. Take this for example. If you ended up buying a game you don't like on Steam, don't worry, you can have a refund. Nintendo, on the other hand, force you to live with your regrettable decision for the rest of your life. In some cases, Steam does what Nintendo don't. However, this time Steam has been accused of using its market dominance to enforce price parity and charge excessive commissions. As a result, Steam's practices are being scrutinised for potentially inflating game prices and purposely stifling competition unfairly. This situation is particularly frustrating for gamers, especially as new game prices are becoming increasingly unreasonable across the board. Indeed, 2024 continues to suck, and it seems that Steam want to be a part of the problem and not the solution. Look at physical games as an example. It's bad enough now that we're having to pay $70 for a new game in the shop, or even worse than that, having to pay $60 for a digital copy of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which is ludicrous in my opinion. It could be argued that Valve's seemingly dubious business practices have evidently massively contributed to the growing problem of games becoming increasingly unaffordable for many gamers. However, despite Steam currently charging high premiums, in this otherwise dreadful climate there are still miraculously a few ways to save significantly on their money-grabbing platform. Fortunately, I know a way how to get up to 90% off hundreds of games, allowing you to enjoy your favourite titles and hidden gems you've yet to discover without breaking the bank. Thanks to you wonderful people using my Instant Gaming affiliate link, you not only get amazing bargains, but also support my little channel directly. This incredible support has led to Instant Gaming sponsoring my channel for the 4th month in a row, as hundreds upon hundreds of you have been taking advantage of their deals through this channel. Use my link to get tons of games at prices much cheaper than what you can find directly on Steam, who seem to be behaving a little bit sus. A lot of the games are so cheap in fact that I made 2 videos recently showcasing some absolute bargains. Be sure to check out the videos I uploaded recently after this one, as I'm sure there's some great ones in there you won't have heard of. But first, let's explore the implications of the current Steam allegations. Let's be honest, as fantastic as Steam is, every platform has its downsides. One significant drawback of Steam is that developers are often forced to rely on it as the most viable option to sell their PC games, which can lead to all sorts of problems and consequences. The lack of true competition in the market results in various issues, such as limited choices for developers and potential monopolistic practices that can negatively impact pricing and innovation within the gaming industry. And it's these almost monopolistic practices which are having a serious knock-on effect, which are affecting our pockets without most of us even realising. But here is where everything gets even crazier. Valve is currently being sued in the UK for £656 million, which is $843 million, due to alleged anti-competitive practices which could have several significant consequences for gamers, particularly those in the UK. The action against the gaming giant is being brought forward by Vicky Shotbolt, a children's digital rights campaigner who claims Valve is rigging the market and taking advantage of UK gamers, and that they are overcharging 14 million PC gamers and abusing its dominant position in the UK. What Shotbolt is essentially accusing Valve of is shutting out competition within the PC gaming market, while simultaneously forcing game publishers to sign up for apparent price parity obligations, meaning that games cannot be sold for cheaper prices on other platforms. This is causing widespread problems because Steam is currently charging those same publishers an excessive commission of 30% of the revenue for games sold, whereas rival platforms such as Microsoft Store and Epic Games only charge the publishers 12%. To re-emphasize the difference, Steam are taking a cut to nearly triple that of its competitors. What a bunch of greedy bastards! This disparity not only stifles competition but also leads to higher prices for consumers and reduced profitability for developers. This hurts us all. So, what legal action is being undertaken to combat this perceived issue? The sort of lawsuit that has been served is what is known as a collective action claim, which is the equivalent to what you'd refer to in the US as a class action lawsuit. This means that Ms. Shotbolt is going to court not just for herself, but for a large group of UK gamers who might have been overcharged. The purpose behind this is to represent the interests of many affected consumers, which must be a huge number of British gamers. This legal action aims to hold Valve accountable for its alleged anti-competitive practices and seek compensation for those who have paid inflated prices for their games. Shotbolt says Valve, the company behind Steam, has been breaking UK competition laws for at least 6 years by charging these high fees. She aims to stop this practice and secure refunds for the affected gamers. By holding Valve accountable, she hopes to ensure a fairer market and provide relief for those who have been ripped off by the American giants. But how much money are Steam actually making from all of this? Well, according to Video Game Insights, Steam generated a staggering $9 billion in global revenue in 2023 alone, with sales coming from a whopping 580 million games sold and 14,000 new games released recently. Interestingly though, a massive 61% of these sales are generated by just the top 10 best-selling games, and an astonishing 91% of Steam sales come from their top 100 best-performing games. Let me just reiterate that to you. 100 out of 73,000, including 14,000 new releases. That's mental. And this concentration of sales highlights the platform's reliance on a few blockbuster titles to drive its immense revenue. No wonder publishers are so interested in AAA. Vicky Shotsbolt is being represented by Milberg London LLP, a firm well versed in holding large companies accountable. Natasha Pearman, a partner at Milberg London, is quoted as saying, "Competition law is there to protect consumers and ensure that markets work properly. When they don't work properly and consumers are harmed, collective actions of this kind provide consumers with a voice and a way of holding big companies like Valve to account." Vicky Shotsbolt has a website dedicated to this lawsuit called steamuous.co.uk, where she provides updates and information about the case. On the section of the website called The Claim, they have written the following: "Companies who hold a dominant position in a market are not allowed to charge excessive or anti-competitive prices. They also cannot impose other unfair trading conditions that prevent or hinder others from competing with them." They go on to say, "We believe that Valve Corporation has been unfairly shutting out competition for PC games and in-game content, which has meant that UK customers have paid too much for these products." So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this situation. The lawsuit against Valve centres on three main issues, which are all incredibly detrimental to the end consumer's wallet. First, there are concerns about price parity, where Steam allegedly forces game publishers to maintain the same prices across all platforms, preventing consumers from finding better deals elsewhere. This means that no matter how hard you shop around, unless you've got some awesome discount codes, like through my affiliate links, you are going to be forced to pay the same price regardless of which PC platform you opt to purchase your games from. Think about that. That's actually disgusting. Second, Steam requires users to purchase downloadable content exclusively through their platform, a practice known as tying, which is considered grossly unfair to consumers as it further limits their purchasing options. For example, if you buy a game on Steam, you will not be able to purchase DLC for the video game you own unless you go directly back to Steam and give them even more of your hard-earned money so they can take that 30% commission all over again. That's not fair, is it? Lastly, speaking of the excessive 30% commission that Steam charges publishers and developers, this of course has a trickle-down effect on consumers, which leads to a lot more consequences than you might initially realise on the surface. This high fee contributes to inflated prices for PC games, meaning gamers end up paying more than they actually should. These questionable practices that hurt gamers everywhere are at the heart of the lawsuit, aiming to address these anti-competitive behaviours and seek fairer conditions for both consumers, publishers and developers alike. This, combined with the issue of price parity, means that Steam is now accused of breaking UK competition laws. Gamers are being forced to pay excessively high prices for games across the board due to Steam's allegedly predatory terms of service. These practices, which include the enforcing of uniform pricing and high commissions, are seen as unfairly inflating game costs and stifling competition, which has ended up prompting the legal action to address these concerns and seek a fairer gaming market. Let's be honest, in most cases the greedy powerful corporation normally flattens the common man. However, in a rare scenario, if somehow Steam lose this lawsuit, what will that mean though? Well, if successful, the lawsuit has the potential to reshape the digital distribution landscape for PC games, not just in the United Kingdom, but for gamers worldwide. This means the legal action could lead to significant changes in how digital platforms operate, in turn promoting fairer competition and pricing. Additionally, there is potential for refunds or compensation for UK consumers who have been overcharged, offering some limited financial relief to those affected by Steam's alleged anti-competitive practices. Also, it's worth adding that if Valve loses the suit, there could be significant changes in pricing and discounts. This could shake the gaming landscape to its foundations, as Valve would no longer be able to enforce price parity, which they are currently accused of. This means that new games could be sold at lower prices on competitor websites such as the Microsoft Store, GOG, and Epic Games, just to name a few. Something else to consider is that this lawsuit and its outcome could not only change prices but also influence how gamers perceive both Steam and Valve. Currently, many gamers view Steam more favourably than most big console manufacturers. However, if Valve is found guilty of anti-competitive prices, it's very possible that this could damage its reputation and erode trust among gamers. This potential shift in perception might lead to a decline in consumer loyalty and drive gamers to explore alternative platforms, ultimately impacting Valve's position in the market. Let's be fair, it wouldn't be the first instance of gamers rejecting the anti-consumer practices of a large corporation. The Xbox brand, for example, has never fully recovered after the Xbox One launch that tried to tell consumers that purchases on physical games would be locked to single-user accounts. As for the Steam situation, though, overall the lawsuit has the potential to reshape the industry by promoting fairer competition, potentially lowering prices, and ensuring better deals for gamers. However, the exact outcomes will depend on the legal proceedings and the decisions made by the UK courts. One thing, though, is certain. A win for UK gamers would be a win for gamers everywhere, setting a precedent for more consumer-friendly practices across the global gaming market. What makes this all the more poignant, though, is that while the direct impact of the lawsuit will be on digital sales, there could be a ripple effect that influences the pricing strategies of physical games as well. So, what do I mean by this? Basically, if digital game prices decrease significantly, physical retailers might feel pressured to adjust their prices to remain competitive. However, if there is indeed an impact, said impact may not be as immediate or pronounced, since physical game distribution involves additional costs like manufacturing, shipping, and retail markups. Consequently, the game publishers might reassess their overall pricing strategies across both digital and physical formats. In response, retailers could potentially offer more competitive pricing, better deals, or additional incentives for purchasing physical copies. Ultimately, this would benefit consumers one way or another. So, knowing about this 30% that Steam charges to publishers and developers, does Steam therefore, in its current form, still have any benefits to us? Regarding the publishers and devs, it can be argued that despite the higher commissions Steam charges, there are several compelling reasons why the platform remains worth the time. Steam offers unparalleled visibility, providing access to a vast user base, up there in the millions, which can significantly boost a game's reach and sales potential. It also comes with a suite of powerful tools for game development, distribution and marketing, which can be invaluable for developers looking to streamline their processes and maximize their impact. Additionally, for gamers, Steam fosters robust community engagement through features like user reviews, forums which help with word-of-mouth promotion, and the Steam Workshop, where players and nerds can share and download mods. This sense of community not only enhances the gaming experience, but also helps foster a loyal fan base for developers. Essentially, you're being treated a lot more fairly using Steam's service than on, say, PlayStation's or Nintendo's platforms. Furthermore, Steam is well known for its frequent sales events such as the Summer Sale and Winter Sale, which can drive significant spikes in sales of games. These events help game developers reach a wider audience and potentially generate quite a substantial revenue, offering exposure that might otherwise be hard to achieve on other rival platforms. I suppose you can think of it this way: a PC gaming world without Steam at this point would feel like an online video content creation world without YouTube. Steam's rather comprehensive ecosystem does overall support game development, marketing and community engagement in ways that are crucial for both indie developers and large publishers. As highlighted, there are a lot of benefits to using Steam for the end customer compared with a lot of other services, but that doesn't mean there isn't room for improvement, and perhaps this lawsuit can provide that. Therefore, in spite of its higher commission rates, the benefits of visibility, sales potential and community tools still makes Steam a valuable platform in the competitive gaming industry. So it's understandable why for many devs and publishers the trade-off between the heavy commission rate and these arguably substantial benefits can be considered worthwhile, making Steam an attractive and valuable platform in the highly competitive gaming industry. So, regardless of how you feel about the matter, this lawsuit against Valve Corporation highlights significant concerns about Steam's impact on the gaming market. By enforcing price parity and charging high commissions, Steam has potentially inflated game prices and limited competition. This legal action brings to light the need for fairer practices in the industry, emphasising the importance of maintaining a competitive environment that benefits both consumers and developers. Whether you'll admit it or not, game prices are currently getting out of hand, and discovering that even digital downloads are being artificially inflated is frustrating at best. Despite these drawbacks, developers and publishers continue to use Steam due to its many benefits. While Steam has its pros and cons, much like in life in general, its comprehensive ecosystem and unparalleled reach make it a go-to platform for many in the gaming industry. The ongoing lawsuit against Valve Corporation underscores the need for a more balanced approach that benefits both consumers and developers, ensuring a healthier and more competitive market. If you want to learn more about some of the biggest bargains I've found, watch this video here where I highlight some amazing games, including this secretly amazing Final Fantasy game that you purposely avoided playing and therefore ended up severely missing out. Ciao.